All right, hope you're all having a nice start to the day here. Gonna do a little lunch video. I've been squeezing these in a little bit more lately, as I know we've got a lot of different topics that people want to hear about. This one specifically is from one of the members of the YouTube channel, and so I want to share this with the subscribers on X as well, should this interest you. And we're gonna keep it a pretty simple agenda today. So the coverage is ETH and then Mara. And I'm going to look at ETHBTC, and then I'm going to look at ETH, and then I'm going to look at Mara BTC, and I'm going to look at Mara and do a bit of a deep dive into what I'm seeing on both structures. Excuse me. First off, I've been covering ETHBTC for a while, and this one I haven't been, I don't think, very good with. Was looking for a reversal, kind of in that region, but I guess one of the lessons here is this is a parabola just going in the opposite direction, also known as a falling knife. And it's really, really difficult to project where these things are going to end, and this is no different. And so me trying to, look for a reversal at the previous base was just too soon. Is this over? Is this parabola, this reverse parabola, has it concluded? I don't know. I don't know. But what I do know is if we're kind of thinking about the structure from two different points of view, the one being where did the alt season kick off truly for the last time? What was the demand zone? And where did ETH have its biggest move? Well, ETH had its biggest move in this region right here the last time. Okay. And where did demand, in terms of the largest wick that initiated all of this price action, where did that start? Well, let's find it. Let me zoom in. That came in the form of this wick right here. Okay. So that kicked off a continuation candle, and then we had a retest, and then the largest move. And so potentially, I want to look at a few kind of comparisons, if you will, of that scenario to where we are today. And, we're kind of seeing the similar thing unfold here. We have just a very, very large wick in the same zone. So where large amount of buyers stepped in this zone, and we're creating this wick. And so if there's a place for demand to come in, without guessing, it would be where the largest demand came in the last time, and that's this zone. There is, again, this is a parabolic structure in reverse. At some point, these things break. Parabolas break, right? Upside, downside. Parabolas, right? And when they break, they fall hard. Same thing going in the reverse. Okay, when they break, they typically break hard. And so that's what I'm seeing here in favor of ETH BTC. And then moving over to ETH USD, I posted this chart on the X subscriber account, and I was wrong with the initial interpretation. I had an impulse being initiated back in this region, and that just wasn't correct. We breached. The line chart is deceiving here because it shows you current price, but on the candle, we went further than the origination of what I had with one, so that's an invalid count. The more I'm looking at this, the more it just looks like a triangle correction where we had an A, B, C, D, and when we see all these overlapping waves, they tend to show up more in corrective structures, and we're kind of forming what I believe could be an E here, an E bottom, which also, without the wicks, is a little inverse head and shoulders. The result of this is the opposite of what the market participants think in my opinion. Okay. Again, I'm not a financial advisor. I don't know what's going to happen. I've been wrong on ETH and saw ETH going much higher, much sooner uh, than what's been transpiring with this. And so my interpretation here, however, changes, but it changes not in the way that you would expect it to change. So most people are thinking now there's an alt season that's probably not going to happen, and ETH is not going to perform. That's what the market has instilled in the participants. What I'm seeing is the opposite. I'm just seeing a delayed reaction and an ongoing corrective structure where once this resolves, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 into a C wave, target now has the potential to get up from 16 to 20,000 sometime early next year. Might take a little bit longer, might be shorter, but either way, if in fact this is just a massive triangle compression, I would expect a larger move coming out of here than people are expecting. And so that's my analysis on ETH. Time will tell, we shall see. Mara BTC, this is probably the best way I've ever looked at Mara since I've been covering Mara. And Mara has been frustrating. I caught the move from the low region in 2023 to the 8s to the 30 region in December. But and I telegraphed that pretty well from an Elliott wave standpoint. But from there, I have not been as good. It's been 50-50 at best. The long-term counts, nothing has changed as I'm going to share with you, but the path has been very unpredictable and very frustrating. What I have here is Mara BTC, and it's inverted, okay? Just like I did with the MicroStrategy video. So it's inverted to show you what? When Mara BTC is doing this on the inverted, this is where Mara is bleeding against Bitcoin, okay? So Bitcoin drastically outperformed Mara in this massive impulse from 2015 to May of 2020, okay? Mara then outperformed from April of 2020 all the way to November of 2021, okay? And this is a corrective leg. So I've got an impulse, and then I've got an A, which is an impulsive move down. Then I have these overlapping waves. There's no impulse in here. That's a B wave, okay? That's a B wave. And what's been happening since November 2021, Mara against BTC? It's been bleeding against Bitcoin, which means this chart's rising and in a corrective fashion, which means it's variable. It's ups and downs, it's roller coaster, it's no clear direction, but just bleeding slowly against Bitcoin in what I'm calling a B wave. Remember, this is an inverted chart. And so if in fact this interpretation is correct and we have impulse, okay, let's just say this is a massive 1, 2, 3. If we're in fact in a 2, which is good for Mara against Bitcoin. Why? Because in a 2, remember, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, A, B, C. We're missing the C leg. We're missing the C leg, right, where we have a clear 1 wave, 2 wave, and we're missing the C. And if in fact this C is going to arrive, that's where we'd expect Mara significantly outperforming Bitcoin. The high time frame chart here inverted is the clearest picture I've got about the pair. And this pretty much goes for all the miners, right? When I'm covering WGMI against Bitcoin, I'm seeing similar things. So this isn't just exclusive to Mara. This is exclusive to the sector, I believe. And so if we've got a C coming up, the hardest question to answer, if that's in fact what's going on here, which is what I'm presenting as my belief, is when it starts. And I don't know the answer to that. I'm not that good. What I do know is this, from an order block perspective, the bearish order block on a weekly chart. So A, B wave here, pivot, B wave pivot, C. This bearish order block on the weekly is where we are in, where price is relative to Bitcoin right now, okay? at this supply. I'm expecting a rejection somewhere in this region and then continuation down, whether that's 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 1 day, 2 days, a month, 2 months. I don't know. That's the interpretation here. And so where this is happening is critical. Where this is happening is critical. Again, B wave overlapping corrective, A wave impulsive, right? Impulsive. And we're missing one more impulsive leg. We're missing one more impulsive leg. That's the interpretation. And now we go to Mara, and we see on a weekly time frame a very bullish structure, in the context of the overall chart. I've got just a massive kind of cup handle. I have this kind of 1, 2 completing somewhere in this zone. It has room down to 16 here. I mean, it has really room all the way down to 1347 before this count's invalidated. But coming out of this, my expectation is a move up to at least 70, 60 region. And then a pullback, and then into the end of the year, potentially working up towards 80, $100 Mara. That's the base case forecast. On a daily time frame, there's not much information. I don't have a lot of clarity. I mean, there potentially could be one more leg down. Let me just get rid of these and pull up a daily chart. Yeah, this count is or the price action is very inconclusive to me. It's just which is a hallmark of, if market makers are in control here, trying to shake participants out. We see this trend line that goes all the way back a few years. There was some manipulation at it here. I think what we're seeing is some manipulation at it here. These things can go one of two ways, right? I've got 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, missing one leg, okay, potentially. We also have, let's see. We also have the potential for some type of, leading diagonal, although that's not as clean. Potential 1, 2, ABC here, where we're making a kind of a double bottom and then it goes. These bottom structures are never clean. They're never decisive. Take case in point here. This did not look clean at all, but it did look like a reaccumulation. Okay, spring, test, LPS, boom. And so maybe we've got something like that going on a low time frame here. The day-to-day stuff, that's stuff that the day traders worry about. I'm not as concerned about when the price looks the weakest. Again, so often it precedes the largest move. So I'm not going to get too caught up in what we're seeing here on a daily time frame. Hope that helped. Hope you enjoyed that video. Take care. Thanks for all the support.